We at Navy Pier.
That's not YouTube Shorts, right?
Yeah, it's basically kind of like TikTok.
Yeah, and like reels.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really. I'm not a big fan of YouTube Shorts.
Me either. Me either.
Like, we are on Instagram and TikTok, like.
I'm mainly Instagram Reels and just watching people like berate like to the like content creators in the comments.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Photo recording too.
Yeah.
Both content creators. That's how it feels to be a content creator.
Alright, it says, I'm writing to let you know that a new section...
It's not working?
Wait, I'm writing to let you know that a new section of CS345 network security has been opened. I'm pleased to share that all students who were previously on the waitlist as well as other registered students are now welcome to register. Please look for... Oh, okay, never mind.
Is that for the ticket?
No.
Como está Willie? What the hell?
Como, what? isn't that Tagalog?
That is. But she's Hispanic. Why is she saying that?
Who is the girl?
It's my friend.
Oh. Well, I mean, like, well, the language is similar, right? Because it does...
Very similar.
Because, like, didn't you get colonized, like, by, like, the... I don't know. I don't know much history about, like,
the Spaniards. Yeah, the Spaniards.
I don't know much. I don't really know, like, much about the history of the Philippines.
It's like very similar languages. No, Spain.
Spain?
Yeah, Spain.
Especially like in Africa, they didn't get shit. Now they got like one country.
Oh yeah.
And it was like the island was somewhere like west.
Hell yeah, exactly.
Other than that, it's really
You know, Jason,
What's up?
that's so you don't see that yacht over there? That's where Soto's birthday is gonna happen.
Makes me excited.
I know, man.
But I heard about these yacht parties. Well, sometimes like, like think of like Leonardo DiCaprio and like, all those celebrities.
These are the Seadogs. These big boats.
Seadog is pretty a fitting name for those kind of boats. I've gone on boats like that before, but not here at Navy Pier, but like I think when I was on like vacation, I don't know if I was in Florida, right? Yeah, I probably was in Florida, and because like I went on we went on to an alligator farm.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
We about to get these tickets.
All right.
Let's do it. Got it.
You got enough storage, right? Pretty sure I do.
Alright, y'all ready?
Yeah. Let's hit it, bro.
You ready? Mm-hmm. So you ready? You ready for this?
Hey, it's not as bumpy as I thought. This is fine.
Yo, that view though, bro.
on seeing Chicago like from where I live was already set up.
We're good. Okay.
That school's still around today, but after he retired, two of his students found the designs for this building in a drawer, and they decided to build it here as a tribute to him, to say thank you for everything that he taught them. They didn't totally agree with everything he had to say though, so they did end up curving out the edges a little bit. It used to be very sharp on the edges. They curved it out to make it more conducive to the wind and just better in general for what their vision was for the building. It was completed in 1968, and it has this public parking garage on the first floor. If you look at that, the reason that that's important is because we have 28 miles of shoreline in Chicago, and on that 28 miles we have 24 public beaches, even more public parks, and that's because of a 1902 act called the Free and Clear Act, which basically stated that you can't have a private building built east of Lakeshore Drive. So they built this, a private building east of Lakeshore Drive. But they claimed that it was in the air above east of Lakeshore Drive because the private building is above a public building. So that's the loophole they used to build that. It didn't work, obviously. We have it here in 1968. But it will be our last private building east of Lakeshore Drive. This is the official entrance into the Chicago River. A really gorgeous way to view the city right off the bat. On the left-hand side is my favorite building in the whole world. This is the St. Regis. The St. Regis is the tallest building in the world, designed by a female architect. Her name is Jeannie Gang. She's a Chicago native, and she designed it in the post-modernistic style, meaning it's supposed to reflect the nature around it. This building in particular is supposed to look like the waves of Lake Michigan and the Chicago River. I think she nailed it pretty hard. It does look like three separate buildings, but it's actually one giant building that just looks that way. I love this building. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm not sure why I love it so much. I really just think it's because it's really pretty. There are 2 floors missing from that tallest tower. They were not in the original designs for the building. They added them later because they had to switch to using a slightly more fragile kind of glass. It was being built still during 2020. It's a very new building. And there was a national shortage of glass. They couldn't get the right kind. They had to use a slightly more fragile version. So in compensation for that, on the right is a building with a giant yellow blob on top. I used to say if you could guess what that blob is, I'll give you $100. But then someone guessed it, and I don't have $100. So I would just tell you. It is a blimp landing station. It's never been used. It's the only one in the city. We tried to use it once. It was too windy. They said, we'll come back next week. And then the Hindenburg disaster happened. The popularity of those supernovas died. So it's never been used. We thought they were revolutionizing air travel. Now we just have a giant yellow onion on our skyline. But it's a cool onion, and we like our onion. So be careful with what you say about our onion. Right up here, Michigan Avenue. This is what used to be the shoreline of Chicago. Right over here where this Apple store is. Now, it's a cool Apple store, don't get me wrong. It looks like a giant MacBook from the top, but that's not why I pointed out. This is what we believe was the location of the first permanent trading post in Chicago. So this used to be the shoreline. Obviously, they didn't know that when they built the Apple store, otherwise it would be a historical monument. But, you know, I guess things change, and this is an Apple store. Right here, the Wrigley Building, the most iconic clock tower in the city by far, faced in 8 different shades of terracotta tile that get progressively lighter as you move up the building, naturally drawing your eyesight to that clock tower at the top. This building is absolutely gorgeous. It was constructed in 1924. It was the first major construction project following the Great Chicago Fire. That's relevant because it is made of terracotta tiles. Terracotta tiles are fire resistant. They were terrified of their buildings burning down. Everything from this bridge to the water, now the bridge wasn't there at the time, but basically everything from here to the water was completely decimated during that fire in 1871. So they really wanted to prevent that. Terracotta tile is also very soft, so they cannot pressure wash that building because it would just disintegrate under the pressure of the water. They have to go wash every single tile. Right in front of us on the right, guys, this is the second tallest building in Chicago, and I can never remember the name of it. It does have 24-foot tall letters in the front, though, that remind me that this is the Trump Tower, so that's helpful. This building is the only one in Chicago with something at the top called an ego spike. No, I'm not making that up. That's really what it's called. An ego spike is basically a spire that does nothing but make the building taller. It has no purpose except for making the building taller. This is the only one in Chicago with one.
That's crazy.
That ego spike is the only thing that makes it the second tallest building in Chicago. It's a really interesting building. I'll talk a little bit more about it on the way back because I do have more facts about it. On the right is AMA Plaza. This was previously the world headquarters of IBM Technologies. So it does kind of look like a computer hard drive. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but that's what people always say. I don't have too much to say about this building. It's now a hotel, so it's not an office building anymore. But I do like to point it out because it is another Mies van der Rohe construction, so you can get a better idea of this design style there. On the right, once we pass under here, this is the Skies. They've got construction, but they've put fairy lights up, so it's all cutesy. You can go out there and drink your coffee.
Yo, look at these yachts, though.
This is Marina City Towers. So Marina City Towers were designed and built during the nuclear war in the 1950s. The idea is you can go inside and literally never leave your apartment ever. If your doctor's office, pharmacy, grocery store, movie theater, bowling alley, apartments, parking garages, house of blues for live music, restaurants, and because during the threat of nuclear war, you need a place to park your massive yacht. There's a marina on the first floor. Don't worry, they've got you covered. How is this going to save you from hitting Chicago? Literally no clue. No clue at all. But I do know it looks like giant corn on the cob. I also know that it isn't supposed to look like giant corn on the cob. It's supposed to look like flower petals falling from the heavens. Are you kidding me? How did they not see this? It's literally just a vegetable. Like, I don't understand. But you may be wondering, has anyone ever
opens
On the
up
right
like
is
this.
the oldest building you'll see on our tour today. This is the Reed Murdoch Tower. This building is asymmetrical. It has 6 bays of windows on the right and only 5 on the left. The reason for that is because it's so old that it predates LaSalle Street on the left-hand side. So if you look out by that American flag, you can see a discoloration of the brick in the top left corner. That's where they literally picked up the end of that building and moved it inwards to make space for the LaSalle Street Bridge because they didn't want to mess with the grid that they had planned for the city at the time. This right here behind these trees is the greenest building in the city. This building's really cool. It's so green that it has a negative carbon footprint. So it sucks up water from the river, uses it for its heating and cooling systems, and then puts it back into the river when it's done with it.
Brown.
So this is a steakhouse on the property. I don't know how it makes sense to have a steakhouse in the greenest building in Chicago. It's a great location for it. I've heard it's a pretty good steakhouse. It's not exactly conducive to a college budget, so I've never been. Just kind of a strange location for it, that's all. On the right is the Merchandise Mart. This building is the second largest in the entire United States. It is only beat by the Pentagon, but it was constructed before the Pentagon, so it was originally the largest building in the entire country. This building is so large it had its own zip code until 2017. It has its own train station inside. They used to deliver mail via roller skates. And at night, when it gets dark, they turn on that massive, huge projector on the other side of the river and put a massive art piece on the front. It's really cool. It's called Art on the Mart. It's totally free. You guys should all go check it out before you leave the city. It's really fun to go for dinner on the Riverwalk and then go watch the Art on the Mart. It takes like 10 minutes. And it's just like a really cool thing that they do here. I'll also talk a little bit more about that building on the way back. We're currently entering into Wolf's Point, which is significant because it is the convergence of the 3 branches of the Chicago River. So we're going to go down this left branch today and skip the right branch. It is home to some of the newest construction in the city, including these 3 buildings. The third one you can't see is hidden behind here. This is the newest finished construction in the city. Completed about 2 years ago. This is Salesforce Tower in the center, and then there are 2 apartment buildings on either side. This is owned by a very famous presidential family. No, it is not Trump. If Trump owned these buildings, you would know. There would be signs, okay? This is owned by the Kennedys, so they do still have a lot of business dealings in the Chicago area. Right in front of us here, this is the Hot Pocket building. It was constructed in 2017. I don't even know what the real name of this building is. It's just the address. Some of them don't have like actual names. It's just numbers and then whatever. I think it's called like Wolf's Point Tower or something like that. But I call it the Hot Pocket building because it just looks like a hot pocket. That arch protects residents from the rain, but that's kind of the only cool thing about this building, other than the fact that it looks like a hot pocket. So I think it's kind of funny. But far more interesting, in my opinion, right here, this is the Beaver building. It's called the Beaver building, so it looks like a beaver one named on the bottom of it. It looks like it's gonna fall on top of us, but I promise you it's not. I took this tour a lot, and it's never happened before. So I'm really hoping it's not today. But you can take a selfie of our boat in the bottom there, or just wave at yourself if you're not feeling photogenic. This building looks like a V that is precariously perched on that really small strip of land on the center, but it's actually a giant X. The bottom half of the X is not visible. It stretches way down below the ground, giving it a really solid foundation below. It also has giant jugs of water that are suspended from the ceiling on the top floor by chains. When the building sways in one direction, the jugs of water sway in the opposite direction, helping it hold. This building is home to the world's first car elevator. They didn't want people to have to get out of their cars to risk being robbed with all of their jewelry in hand, so they built the car elevator so you can go straight up before you get to. Optical found it really helpful for sneaking up.
The Lowe's building?
Where you had a speakeasy in the dome called the Stratosphere, so it really was aiding in the crime. On the left, back at the Trump Tower, this building is actually designed to pay homage to the other ones that came before. So each level is the same height as another historical building in the area. The first level is the same height as the Wrigley building, so on and so forth. This building was supposed to be the tallest building in the world, but they reduced the size of it because it was being constructed during 9/11. They decided that they no longer wanted the title of the tallest building in the world. But it was designed by the same architect that did the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, which is the tallest building in the world. The building was actually just sued for $4.8 million because they were found to be actively polluting the Chicago River. So the city does hold anybody accountable who is found to be polluting the river. Right up here, this is my favorite cluster of buildings right here. I love this area in Chicago. It's really fun to go to. Honestly, it looks less interesting on a boat than it does on land. This is one of the rare places in Chicago where I think you need to go walk around rather than be on a boat. So I highly recommend just coming here.